What's up, my family? Listen, first-time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, enjoy the clip, no notes.
Before I do anything, I need to get this off my chest. People comparing Ben Simmons to Carson Wentz, it's not even close. Because in big games, Carson gave you heart. Carson gave you heart. Ben Simmons, I'm going to say it right now. You failed Philadelphia. You failed this organization. You failed everybody that believed in you, including myself. You failed Joel Embiid. You failed Tobias Harris. You failed Doc Rivers. You failed Daryl Morey. Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey, they were going to trade you for James Harden. What happens if that trade goes through? Are we in the finals? We're in the finals. We get a ring. I'll admit it. I was wrong. Ben Simmons, you were at the top of the ladder of people to blame for what happened this playoff run. I'm not saying you're by yourself. I'm not going to be all I'm off the Ben love wagon or whatever. I'm not on the Ben hate wagon. There's a lot of things we need to evaluate. There's a lot of things we need to think about before anything happens with this organization. Because you're caught up right now. You have no money. All of your money is invested in Joel Embiid, a top 3 basketball player in the world. That shrinks in elimination games, let me tell you. He does. We'll get to Joel Embiid later. Tobias Harris, who's getting paid more than Ben Simmons, gives you 4 points in a game 4. If we win that game 4, is this game 7 even happening? We'll talk about Tobias Harris later. And then the rest of the money is in Ben, a dude that has shot the ball 6 times in the fourth quarter through 7 games in a conference semifinal game. Ben, you got to do better, dude. I don't know what's going to happen. That could have been your last game as a Philadelphia 76er. But now that I got that off my chest, I will introduce the family that is with me tonight. Of course, Evan, and then Jonathan. Evan, I'll start with you. Let me just hear your thoughts about what happened this series.
Jamie, I'm not going to lie. I've been telling you that for years, and I'm glad you finally brought it to light. I thought it was something that had to be addressed. Obviously, after a just stunning game, like by the Hawks, like just they. I feel like it was more just the Hawks won this series and the Sixers lost this series. You can I can agree where people say that's not true because we did blow a 26-point lead, then we blew a 22-point lead. Like that's just us not doing what we're supposed to do at the end of the night. And I'm not going to put all the blame on Ben. This isn't going to be a total slander Ben show, but it kind of is at the same time. You did have that 4-point game by Tobias that probably would have sent us to this Eastern Conference Finals. But, man, like we were saying before, Jimmy, we were saying that we needed at least 15 from Ben a night. And I don't even think Ben had more than 3 15-point games this whole playoff run. I mean, at the end of the day, points on everything. He had his great, like that first game against the Wizards where he had that 15 rebound, 15 assists. That's all great and stuff. But once you get to play those better teams, you gotta have some sort of offensive game. And if you can't make your shots, if you can't make your layups, can't dunk the fucking ball when you're 2 feet from the rim, like I don't know what else you want.
First of all, the first time I came onto this podcast, we had a conversation that was similar to this. We were talking about whether or not the Sixers should get Kyle Lowry. And I told Jimmy, Kyle Lowry should be traded for because when it comes playoff time, you won't be able to rely on Ben late in games. He swore up and down that we were going to get playoff Ben, that make the All-Star team Ben isn't a real thing, which I think it is, because how do you score all those points before the All-Star break and after the All-Star break? You're basically an afterthought of the team, unplayable down the stretch. Second of all, I do believe that Ben Simmons deserves a majority of the blame, but like y'all said, not 100% of the blame, because everybody played a role in this happening. 8 turnovers by Embiid in that last game. That can't happen, especially that late game turnover when you have Gallinari on you. Tobias, that 4-point game. And not only that, he was just overall inefficient throughout the series. But one thing I can say about those two is they're giving it their all. Like Tobias took 24 shots. If he was going down, he was going down swinging. And Embiid obviously playing on the torn meniscus or partially torn meniscus, dropping to 32 points. What was it? 12 rebounds, going all out. You can't really blame them. Obviously, can't blame Steph Curry. He gave it his all as well. He was basically your most consistent player of the whole series. But Ben, it's just I see this little like this headline going around that he's going to be working on his game this summer and that Doc wants to work with him. But what is Doc a psychiatrist? Is he somebody that's going to help him mentally? Because if he's not, what can Doc help him with? There's nothing wrong with his actual game. It's the fact that he's mentally weak. He mentally decides that I'm going to check out. I'm not going to be aggressive. Not only am I not going to be aggressive, but I'm not going to put myself in positions to be successful. If you're a person that knows he can't shoot, when you get in the block, use your size to your advantage. Don't just get in the block and it's like, all right, I'm looking to pass. When you have Danilo Gallinari on you who moves like an 80-year-old, run right by him, get one drop step, hook shot, it's a layup. You miss, there's still a chance for an offensive rebound. There's a chance you can tip it back in. Or if you get fouled, who cares? Giannis isn't a great free throw shooter. He doesn't care. He's going to the hole every single night. He's never going to. When have you ever seen Giannis in a series or during the course of a game change the way he's playing because he doesn't want to get fouled?
Never. And it's what I've been saying all year. I've been saying I want to keep Ben Simmons because he will never outshoot us out of a basketball game. Well, it's the complete opposite, only it's affecting us more. It's affecting us more because you're not doing anything on the offensive side of the ball. The only thing you do well on the offensive side of the ball is when you get the ball out in transition and you make an excellent pass, or you just outpower everybody, put your head down and dunk the ball. That's the only thing right you do on offense. And I've said it the last time John was on the podcast. I said it when Tom and DJ were on the podcast with us. I said that Ben is hiding his film. I was a fucking fool for saying that. He wasn't hiding shit. There's something wrong with him. There's literally something wrong with his head.
He's got the yips.
I tried to warn you. I was
wrong.
And then I even texted you in the first round, and I tweeted about it when the whole Hack of Ben first started. I told you, I said, Jimmy, be careful. It's not going to affect you now, but when it matters most, he will be unplayable. And you're not going to win when your point guard, because he is your point guard. I know you look at him as a point forward, but at the end of the day, on this team, he's your point guard. If your point guard and your best defender is off the court, like he was at the end of the stretch in Game 5 when you blew that big lead and Trae Young started torching Shake Milton, you're going to lose the game. And now look, you're home.
Yeah. Doc Rivers is a big reason as to why we lost the series. He cost us the series with the way he babied Ben. Like you, me, Evan, Tom, we're not in that locker room day in and day out. We're not Ben Simmons' boss. Doc Rivers is his boss. You need to get through to him. And he clearly did it.
Stop babying him. And I said at the beginning of the season, I just want Ben to be Ben. Oh, I see nothing. I'm not going to force Ben to do anything. That's like, what's that word I'm looking for? Where you're allowing somebody to continue to do like a bad habit.
Insanity.
Yeah, it's just bad. Like that's not going to get him any better.
It's doing the same thing over and over again and it's expecting different results.
Exactly.
It's insanity.
And it makes no sense. And you know this hasn't worked before. Why aren't you on him about it? You know why he's not on about it? Because Doc is so focused on being a player's coach, having a good rep with all of his players. And then when shit hits the fan, he wants to go and start blaming them. When he put no pressure on them, he didn't put them on the fire. He didn't say, Ben, get to shooting. You know how Brett Brown used to say, I want him to shoot. He would come out on the media and say, I want Ben Simmons to shoot. We tell him all the time to shoot. And everybody used to kill Brett for that. I used to love it when Brett Brown would say that. Because at least he's putting pressure on Ben. Look, I'm telling the media I told you to shoot, and you're still not doing it.
And that's another thing I was wrong about. Ben literally just put that to the side and said, I'm not going to shoot. I'm afraid to fail. I don't want to fail. I don't want to be a failure. Well, guess what, Ben? You failed us. You failed everybody, including yourself.
And I said it. I will not tolerate another Sixers fan talking down on Giannis Antetokounmpo. because all Sixers fans came at Giannis Antetokounmpo and said that, oh, he's not a winner. He's not this. He's not that. Giannis has played in one of the greatest games of all time. Airballed 2 free throws in that game and still attacking and still ended with 40 points.
Yeah. I want to get to a few comments before we close out the show. We appreciated everybody tonight. We do need to find that too. Whether it's keeping Ben or keeping Tobias, one of them two have to go. If this roster stays the same after what happened yesterday, if the coach stays the same after what happened yesterday, that's just bad news. You can't let that happen.
I can assure you, with Daryl Morey being in the front office for y'all, shit is gonna change.
Yeah, we need that too. And Bobby Eagles, I still believe this convo would be way different if Danny played. We win the last 2, no doubt. Ben and the bench cost us. This is what I got to say to that before you go, John. It was going to happen eventually. Unless you won the finals this year, this conversation was going to happen eventually.